So as we continue section 1.4, Formula 1, which we just got finished learning about and working with, looks like this. And what we're doing here is we're setting up 2 points, A and some value for x, and we're bringing them closer and closer together, right? So 2 points are actually coming closer together, and that is x is approaching A. So that's this part. X is approaching A. Formula 2 is a formula that looks at the same thing, just a little differently, okay? Instead of x approaching A, the big thing in Formula 2, okay, which I want to develop with you, and I'm going to give it to you right now, but the Formula 2, the big thing is the distance between x and A gets smaller and smaller until it approaches 0. And you may think, well, isn't that what's happening here? We're getting closer and closer. Yes, but the Formula 1 is set up in such a way that the actual x value is becoming closer and closer to the actual A value. Okay? And I know you're still thinking that I don't get that. Well, let me draw you a picture that represents Formula 2. Okay? So here's Formula 2 picture. Looks like this. We'll draw a similar sort of function here. And this is A. This is f of A. Okay. This point over here is, we're not going to call it x. We're going to call it another point that is a certain distance away from A. And that distance we're going to call h. Okay, just another random variable here for now that we're going to call the distance between A and the next point. And so we're not going to write x, but we're going to write this point as A plus h. Okay? So A plus a certain sort of distance away from A, that's our next point. Now what does that make, this value of the function here? In function notation, this would be f of what? Yes, very good. F of A plus h. Now the limit that we're going to set up, okay, the limit here is not x approaching A, but it's h getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until these 2 points are the same. So we're going to write that as the h value, that's the distance between the two, is becoming 0. Okay, so the limit as h approaches 0. Now, we go back to the same idea of the slope of the line, which is the difference in y values divided by the difference in x values. And so if we do that, right, we're still finding slope, so we're 2 points involved, here are the 2 y values involved. We have f of A plus h is kind of the y2, right? That's the y value for this point, minus f of A, that's the y value for the first point, divided by A plus h is the x value of the second point, minus A. So just if you stop for just a moment after you've written this down, I want to show you that, see, really it's very much the same as the first formula, except these two things are a little different, and this was f of x, and this was x, right? But now we have f of A plus h and A plus h. Now, how do I simplify this bottom? Because we can actually simplify that, can't we? Yes, very, very good. Whoops, there's too much there. Yes, because A minus A, those are gone, right? So the second formula actually looks just like this. It's f of A plus h minus f of A, all divided by h. So you see a couple things. The one thing is that we only have one term in the denominator. Okay, that is super cool. The reason why is because it's a lot easier to factor out one h, like it's easier to factor an h from an expression than it is to factor a binomial factor, right? We ran into that with the other one, right? Like factoring an x plus 1 out or an x minus 5 out can be a little bit trickier than if you just have an h as a common factor in all the terms, you pull that out. Because right now, the second thing you notice is that you can't put 0 into this equation because 0 is what would make the denominator 0, right? H equals 0. So, this is actually, for the most part, is going to be the easier formula to use, I would say. I would definitely opt for this one over the other one most times. And you're going to have to work with both, but you're also going to be able to choose which formula you work with. Okay, so what I would like to do, just to make sure that you know that I'm not completely blowing smoke here, okay, what I'd like to do is I'd like to do something, oh, and actually, is this part of your assignment? Is that from your assignment there? 2x minus x squared? Or is that just an example? I can't remember. Okay, so this is 1a, all right, with formula 1. What I would like to do is I would like to do the same thing using formula 2. And that's actually part of your assignment, so you're welcome. I'm doing the first question of your assignment for today. So, let me just paste this, or copy this somehow. Nope. All right, so copy that, copy. Okay. Paste that. All right. So, we did this with formula 1 before. We're going to use formula 2 this time. And we're going to find the slope of the line. And what should it be? What did we get before there? Was it 2? No, negative 2. Okay, let's see if we get the same answer doing it just a little different way. So, the formula again, let's write that down again. Limit as h approaches 0 of f of a plus h minus f of a all over h. All right. Now, a in this question is, of course, what? I think I heard someone say it. It's 2. It's the x value in question. So we want to find the slope of the tangent at the point 2, 0. What's the x value? 2. What's a? 2. Okay? So a equals 2 here. All right, let's set up our limit down here. Limit as h approaches 0. Now, in function notation, you put whatever is in the brackets into the function, right? So in the brackets is a plus h, which really we now know is 2 plus h. Okay? And this is f of 2 all over h. Are you with me so far? We've identified our a, and now I've substituted a into the limit, into the tangent equation there, the formula. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to, this is function notation, let's actually expand it out. Let's put the, and this is the tricky part. This is where honestly I don't really remember. I think I did this too when I was your age. Actually, I didn't take calculus until university because I didn't have calculus class in high school. I know we were just talking about that. And yes, it's a good thing that you're taking this. I don't know how I did that. Amazing. No. I actually had an aunt that was a prof at a different university, and I would like drive to talk to her. We would like meet. When I was playing hockey, I would play hockey, and then I would drive, and I would meet her almost every weekend for a little while. And then she would tell me everything that the prof that was teaching me in a different language. Math profs often have very heavy accents that I've found, and I couldn't understand anything. So my aunt helped me out. But anyways, I can't even remember what my point was. Oh yeah, this is actually a tricky part I found teaching as well. Okay, so this is how you need to write this. H approaches 0. Now, okay, everybody watching carefully. I wish I had calculus in high school. I wish I was in this class. I'm just saying that. I would have done a lot better in university had I taken calculus in high school. Okay, but watch this. I was going to say this is cool, but you wouldn't agree with me. Now watch what I'm doing. And tell me if this makes sense to you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now look at this for a second. That thing, thank you for pointing that out.
Oh.
Here's my function, and I have put 2 plus h in for x. You see that? Okay. Okay, so look, see? I told you this was a bit of a tricky part, right? It shouldn't be, right? I can't remember why this was tricky, but it kind of is tricky. This part right here, and I don't have any colors left. This right here, okay, when expanded is this. You got that? Are you with me? Are you picking up what I'm putting down?
Wait, how is
Let me see. Somebody's not. Okay, question?
why is that blue equation, why does that mean F of
No, this right here, this blue equation, is f of x. Right? Because there's x's there, see? F of x. So if I want f of 2 plus h, I put in 2 plus h here and 2 plus h there. That's what I've done. So you see this 2 blob minus blob squared, that's 2 blob minus blob squared. That's that pattern. Does blob help you? That makes sense? Okay. You don't get me why I put it in? Alright, well I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. Okay, we're not done yet, but again, what I want to stress to you is that this part of this is this part right here. Okay? Now why did I put that in? Let's go back to the diagram. F of a plus h is my y value for the second point. Remember, this is the coordinates of this point are a plus h and f of a plus h. Those are the coordinates for this point. Okay? And I need to take this point and I need to find the slope. This is a and f of a. Right? So look at the machine here. The machine is the slope, and this is just the slope simplified. Right? I am trying to find the slope of these 2 points as h approaches 0. So as the distance between them approaches 0, I am then going to end up with the tangent slope. Same thing as what we did for Formula 1. Okay? But I'm letting h equal 0. So how do you do that? Well, you write the slope of the line in terms of these 2 points, and then you say I'm going to take the limit as this h approaches 0. Okay? So I'm still finding the slope of the tangent line. It's still the bottom line here. Let me finish here. Minus f of 2. Okay, f of 2 we know is 0, because that's the y value of the point. Minus 0. All over h. We're not substituting anything in for h. H is an arbitrary distance that these 2 points are together. And I'm going to let that arbitrary distance become 0. I'm going to let it approach 0, and I'm going to find out what the slope does. And whatever that slope does, that's what's going to be the slope of the tangent. Huh? Huh? Okay? Awesome! Awesome! Okay, this is a huge step. This is a huge step, and I appreciate the questions. These are very good questions that you're asking, and one day you will understand the answer. Okay? But it might require watching this video over and over and over again, and trying not to fall asleep. And hearing about my aunt. Yes. Yes, and hearing about my aunt that I didn't pause it for. I apologize for that. My aunt. Okay, I know it's still on. Okay, just let me finish. I'm trying to teach here. Okay. Limit as h approaches 0. My h's are even getting messy. What? Oh, will you quit whining just for 1 second? H. My goodness. I can't read your H. My life sucks. Okay, just get over it. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's simplify some things here. Okay, watch. What do we have? We have 4 plus 2h minus... Okay, now remember we're subtracting this squared, so put a bracket there. That's going to be 4 plus 4h plus h squared. Okay, I just did this FOIL. Mentally, got that. You good with that? Hope so. If not, you need practice.